start it, to cause it, to bring it into existence, to explain it. You get the point? So when you have a universe specifically complex as the universe that
I think this idea that having a god is like a solution to God created the universe.
I didn't say that though.
I'm sorry, I'm putting words in your mouth.
I'm trying to investigate with you rationally.
Yeah.
As an individual who doesn't believe.
What do you believe created the universe?
I am a Muslim, right? So I would believe what Muslims believe. But I would not impose my beliefs on you. You get the point?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to investigate with you, coming from an objective point of view.
I just want to ask, like, how do you think?
We say we believe the creator created the universe. Whoever created the universe need to have certain attributes in place. Like for example, in order for me to make this book, I need to have intelligence, knowledge of language, material, whatever the material I'm using. I cannot make the book otherwise.
Yeah.
When you look at the universe, we say whatever made the universe must first be independent of the universe. Before it, because it has a starting point, it started. Number two, it has to have a will to initiate an act, to start the process of creating. Number three, we say it needs to have a level of power we cannot even comprehend, compress an entire universe into singularity, causes it to expand afterwards, right? We say it needs to have a level of intelligence to understand, look at the laws of the universe, gravitational constants, galaxies, stars, right? And we say that it brings rise to the universe. Therefore, it created the universe from that perspective. So these attributes we say are necessary.
What created the creator?
We say that if you keep asking that question, you end up with no creation. Why? Because you creator needs a creator needs a creator, then nothing will ever be created because everyone is waiting for someone else.
But see, like,
you get the point?
For me,
you understand what I'm trying to say?
But for me, for example, but for example, like, I don't think about what created the Big Bang. The same way that you don't think what created the creator.
So there's a difference. The universe is the beginning. We don't believe the creator is the beginning. So there's false equivocation, right? We don't say the creator is a starting point. So the question itself, we don't accept it. But I'm saying if we hypothetically were to entertain the idea,
so
it would not make any sense.
Always there. Sorry? The creator was always there.
There has to be something always in existence in order for us to exist. You understand this is very important. So if we exist today, then there must be something eternal. We say that eternal was in the beginning, that started everything. This is what we refer to as the creator.
I think I personally believe something very similar. Just that for me, instead of it being the creator, I just believe the universe is always there.
If you believe the universe is always there, you still have an issue. Why? The first issue is you go against the consensus of science today. The universe has a consensus of science. The universe has a starting point, right?
We don't know that, but like in the sense that but there's also in terms of a receding universe, which then if gravity all put together, it goes back into singularity.
But I'm saying to you, you're going against what the majority of scientists believe today. That's the first thing I'm saying, right? But you would agree with you are going against what the majority believe. Second thing, we say even if we were to take the idea that the universe is eternal, you still need an explanation. Why?
But the same reason you still need the same explanation for the creation.
No, because again, a false equivocation. So there are things in the universe that does not apply to God. And because they are in the universe, you need an explanation. Like for example, the universe is composed of parts. These parts are arranged in a certain way. They could have been arranged in a different way, right? You could have the earth in place of sky, the sky in place of the earth. You can have instead of trees green being blue. You get the point. So the parts of the earth, you can have planet Earth where Jupiter is and Jupiter where planet Earth is. So the universe is composed of parts. These parts are arranged in a certain way. You will have to bring an explanation to why they are arranged the way that they are. While the creator, we don't say that it is composed of parts. We don't use this terminology with the creator. So you cannot use the same argument with the creator and say, oh, also the creator requires an explanation. You get the point?
I guess in my idea, the creator for me would be stuff like the four fundamental forces of the universe, like gravity,
I would say humbly, then you have a reason why you don't want to believe in the creator. Because you don't mind accepting the idea that there is something eternal with all the attributes of God, but you would rather call it the universe rather than call it a creator. Then you would it's not a rational point of view. Then you have a reason deep down why you don't want to believe, which is fine. You can do that. You don't force anyone to believe or disbelieve. You get the point. But in the end, if you accept that the universe has the qualities of a creator, you are believing in some sort of
I think in terms of like being rational, I think it'd be irrational to assume either or. That's why, like, I mean, that's why
irrational to assume that something that has a beginning requires something to bring it into existence.
Yeah, no, but the assumption that there's a creator, or the assumption, like
because something is in existence. Do you believe someone made this?
No, I
get the point, right?
But I think
something is in existence. You have to assume it.
But whether the creator is the Islamic creator, or the creator is just the universe is always there,
that's a good question.
or the creator was the Christian God, it doesn't matter for me. And I think rationally, there's no way to prove.
Can I tell you why? It's a valid question. But first, if we ask that question, then we already assume there's something out there. But we're asking, why is the description? Is it Islamic description, Christian description, or a deistic description? Where God is not even personal, does not deal with the universe, right? You say it doesn't matter. Absolutely matters a lot. Why? Because if the God of Islam were to be actually the God of Islam, as we assume, right? Truly, then if you die, there's consequences in the afterlife. There's hellfire and there's paradise. So it does matter because the life wouldn't end there. So if there is a creator, we need to make sure whether these claims and these books that are out there are actually real or not. If you were able to falsify Islam and Christianity, etc., then I would say to you, it makes sense what you're saying. We don't have any evidences for what the creator is. And therefore you can do whatever you want to do. But we claim we have evidences.
Why should I believe in Islam rather than other religions?
Good, because what Islam offers you is no other religion offers. That's the whole point, right? We say, I personally, I'm making this claim now.
Like, I don't mean like the big, I don't mean like, you know, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam. I mean like the millions
In your religion.
that were ever listening.
Yes. We say if the creator created you, and has given you a purpose, it's irrational to assume that it's easy for you to find the purpose. Because if it wasn't easy for you to find the purpose, then there is no point to give you a purpose to begin with. Now, if it's easy for us to find the purpose,
what would you mean by the purpose?
The purpose is why you were created, why you exist, why you brought into existence, why the universe brought into existence, why is everything existing, right? We say, if there is truth, it has to be in a religion which is easily accessible. Because, as you said, there are millions of religions. Every day someone is making it. If the truth were to be there, then it would be impossible for people to find it. Then there is no point for them to have something to be called truth to begin with. So we say, you have to look at the major religions that are easily accessible, investigate them, look at them, and you will end up finding that Islam is the truth. That's what I'm saying, right? So that's what I did. And that's why that would be a rational thing to do. You don't have to accept my conclusion, but you would see, yes, but you would see that, which is a claim I'm making right now, and I'm willing to discuss with anyone, anytime, that Islam is the only religion that can provide evidence for its miraculous origin. That's the claim I'm making.
It doesn't give, you keep saying evidence, but your evidence is just this concept of a creator.
How do you know?
Oh, no, but when I also like how the universe is created, you mentioned that.
I'm talking evidence for Islam, not evidence for God. Two separate things, right? You were asking, first now we came to the idea of
so evidence of Islam and
evidence for the truth of Islam.
Yeah.
What it claims about that entity, the description of the entity, is different for whether the entity exists or not. They're two separate topics. You get the point? Like someone can believe in God, like a gentleman here, but doesn't believe in Islam. You get the point?
Yeah.
So Islam has evidence separate from the existence of the creator. They're two separate topics. So I'm talking about Islam. But when it comes to the creator, even if I were to ask you this, who said that using reasoning and rationality and deductive reasoning is not evidence? Because I am giving you evidence for deductive reasoning. Why is that not evidence?
God gave us a reasonable mind.
So we say that even rationality is a form of evidence. You know?
It's a false conclusion.
What? Tell me what about what I gave you and the reasoning is for?
What, that because something happened, there must be a creator.
Did I say that?
No, but you said no in terms of the start of the universe. You said there must be a creator which created the universe.
I said if the universe is in existence,
yeah.
I said the universe is in existence. The universe has a starting point. It requires something else. It requires something else. Yeah. What is it then?
They're physicists. You don't know.
We reach infinite conclusions and
we don't know
there was a beginning of time. The Big Bang was a time where matter came to be, where the universe expanded. We don't actually know if there's a starting point in time because we can't see back.
We don't even we can't even understand.
So we don't know what before the Big Bang, we don't know if the Big Bang was going to start. It's not.
Did the universe that do we say that the universe we're living in started expanding from the point of the Big Bang or not? Started expanding before the Big Bang?
I'm not
From the time these two separate fields now, right? We say we reach infinite equations when we reach the point of the Big Bang. That's what physicists say. We say we reach infinite equations. Means all laws does not apply there. All laws of time, space, etc. does not apply there. So whatever was there was not physical. But in our terms of physical, right? So now we have to something. Energy. Energy.
Christians think God is spirit, God is outside space and time, God is eternal. So we are creatures of space and time. Einstein.
Night, Christians.
Yeah, we also don't believe God is a physical being like us that you can touch, right? But I need to go as well, like you. But just consider what I said, right? Look into what I said. I even I was going to talk to him about whether even if you not adopt the idea the universe is eternal, there is still evidence that the creator is there. That's what I was discussing with him, right? But
you just don't.
There's no evidence. So where's the evidence?
You just don't know what.
I think it could. It's definitely a possibility.
I'm not denying it. Yeah.
Even by the scientific methods, but it's definitely not for certain.
There's no evidence which says that there is.
But you have to. What's your name?
Right.
Rabe. Yeah. Wouldn't you agree with me, Rabe? And maybe we can end on this. Wouldn't you agree with me that you need to first look at the evidence before you make the claim that it's just a possibility and it's not absolutely true? You need to first look at the evidences that are there, that are being presented, to actually say whether it's true or not. Would you agree that's a fair position to have? Or would you deny it without looking at it?
I would say it's the only position to have, but it is a fair position to have.
No, I'm saying it's the fair position. You're saying it's a possibility, it's not absolute true. That's what you're saying. I'm saying, don't you need first to investigate and look at the evidence before you make that conclusion that it's just a possibility? You first look at the evidence. Maybe there is evidence that proves that it's not just a possibility, right?
Sure, but
then you can make your conclusion, which will be a fair position.
I think
in that sense with a possibility,
I don't believe it's a possibility. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I can provide evidence to show that it is not a possibility. But you are saying no, it is just a possibility. So I'm saying investigate and look at the evidence.
How we know that this creator who was there before the Big Bang and all matter that we live in was this Islamic creator?
But you asked that question before, and I did answer the question before.
No, I
feel like you're going in a circle now.
I was saying fundamentally disagree.
I was saying, look, if I were to give you evidence that this book, this is not the Quran, if you wouldn't know, it's in Arabic, it's a classic, right? 300, it's written maybe over 1,000 years ago, so you wouldn't know, right? So let's say this book here, I have evidence, whatever that type of evidence is, convincing evidence that it is from God, right? And let's assume this book is the Quran. Then if I have evidence convincing that this cannot come from a human being, then that is a valid evidence to assume that the creator is the one that Islam is describing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So if I have evidence that the Quran is from God or from a divine nature, from a nature,
you have evidence.
I do have. That's what I'm saying. I do have.
What is the evidence?
There are multiple possible interpretations of the Quran. There are multiple possible interpretations.
Possible, yeah.
So
I wouldn't say that necessarily.
That to me tells me that you can't know for sure if there is just God before the Big Bang.
How did you make a conclusion from? How did you move from like different interpretations of the Quran to
because you were saying you know for sure. You don't think it's a possibility that there was God before the Quran?
No. I was asking a different question. He was saying, how do you know it's the Islamic God? And then I said to him, I answered. He was talking about the Islamic God. So that's why I was telling him in the beginning, it's two different topics. The existence of God and the evidences for it is different from Islam being the truth and has the right description of God, right?
Yeah,
so I was saying, you get what I'm trying to say, right? So this is what I was answering.
I don't believe in an actual materialistic God, but I do believe in religion. People kinds of religion.
Okay.
Without,
You said materialistic God, did you say?
yeah, it's material.
You don't believe that God is physical as well? You can touch him, you can kill him. You don't believe that?
I don't mean like that either. I mean, any kind of God which actually exists.
What? So that's just like say you don't. You just say you don't believe in a creator, right?
No, but on one hand, I don't believe that. On the other hand, I don't believe you can prove it.
Yes.
But to me, that doesn't.
You don't believe I can prove?
That doesn't.
Where's the evidence?
I don't believe you can prove either way. To me, that doesn't devalue religion.
You said your name is Raven, yeah?
Right.
Raven.
To me, I don't think that religion is actually harmed by that fact.
I understand what you're saying, but what you just said there kind of sums up the whole discussion. Why? Because when you say you don't believe there is evidence anyways to prove existence of God, then what is the point of me trying to prove existence of God? You get the point of what I'm trying to say.
Well, the thing is,
If I say to
it
you,
works the other way as well. For me, I don't think you can disprove.
I understand. But in the end, there is an answer. Like, it's either God exists or God doesn't exist, right? This is a reality now. It's either there is a God or there is no God. You're saying I cannot prove there is or there isn't, but there has to be an answer.
I'd say
whether there is or there
it's
isn't.
more of a strengthening answer. So both.
Is there a third
No, it's in
proposition?
just both. Like if you can't differentiate between them, then both.
God exists and he doesn't exist in the same time.
Both are equally valid.
Do you know what the law of non-contradiction is?
Yeah, but I'm saying both are equally valid because
But that's what I'm saying. Do you know what the law of
these are two completely different things. These are incredibly complex. These are incredibly complex.
I'm disagreeing with the idea that you cannot prove. But I'm saying if I were to take your position, you say both are equally valid. You invalidate the law of non-contradiction. It's like basically saying
It's not.
But you're saying both are valid. You're saying
but
the existence of God is valid and the non-existence of God is valid, which means that he exists and he doesn't exist in the same time, which validates the law.
For example, okay, you have a Roman. 2,000 years ago, you have a Roman soldier. Would he believe that a computer would be possible? He doesn't know, right?
As well.
But I think he doesn't know whether or not it could be possible. And so for that person, whether or not, now we know in retrospect that computers as a creation is possible. He does not know if it is possible to get something that you can program to do anything for you.
He doesn't know whether it's possible.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's his assumption. I mean, whether or not it is a fact, from the viewpoint of that person who doesn't know, there's no way of proving that it was right or wrong.
But that's a claim you have to substantiate. If I claim you cannot know something that's an active positive claim, you have to explain to me and give me evidences why we cannot access that type of information. I'm disagreeing with it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm disagreeing with your
But so
proposition.
what is the evidence? What is the evidence?
We've been through that. So what I was given to you, which is the logical deductive reason.
But that's not evidence. That's just evidence.
Step by step. What we give as the logical deductive reason, we believe logical deductive reason are a form of evidence. You're claiming it's not evidence. Maybe you define evidence another way. Do you know what epistemology is?
I think
You know what epistemology is?
No, we do. That's we did the whole subject.
Sure. So epistemology is the sources of knowledge. How do we learn about the world, right? One type of sources of knowledge is logic and deduction and induction. All of these types are types of knowledge, right? I can use deduction to come to a valid conclusion in the real world. It's a type of evidence. So which is like mathematics, 1 + 1 = 2. Now you're saying a deductive reason argument is not evidence, which is not valid from a philosophical point
Okay,
of
no,
view.
but I appreciate that the inductive reasoning in the sense that, okay, because there is a universe, we can assume that there was something before it. But how do we know?
Not only that, I said to you, remember, I said you can assume certain characteristics, which if they were not in place, the universe cannot come into existence.
I don't think the
Just like
characteristics matter.
okay,
I disagree with the
but
characteristics.
logically, using deduction that you said you appreciate, we have to accept this because otherwise the universe cannot come into existence. Now, whether you work from there or not, as I said, is your choice, right? But in the end, the reason it makes sense is valid, unless you find a problem in the reason itself.
Like in terms of
But anyways, I need to go. Anyways, I completely need to go. I need to.
Sorry, alright.
Don't worry, I need to go give. Maybe next Sunday if you guys are here or something.
He might be.
We can have a discussion. You know, you can come. No problem. Anyways, nice pleasure talking to you. I have to go. Nice talking to you. Sorry if I said anything offensive.
No, not at all.
Thank you. Oops.
So many cameras here. Sorry. Alhamdulillah, just need to go.
No, في المغرب نعم.
Did I give you one? Okay, I'm going to pay. Sure.